Howdy! Welcome back to my channel. Can y'all see me okay? Like I said, I literally really am hanging this on my rearview mirror with some rubber bands. I kind of like it. It works pretty good. We're back in Project Belmont. So the good news is I found editing software that I can use on my phone. The bad news is I really don't have a clue what I'm doing with it, so be prepared for some crazy stuff. So this little video is just going to be a walk around. All it's going to be really doing is me talking a little bit about the truck, which I'm shooting this video this way, and then a walk around about me showing some pictures of it, the damage and stuff like that. Like I said, this truck I bought from some kids. I found it on Facebook Marketplace. Got it for 800 bucks. I got it for 800 bucks because it would not move. It would crank. They had no forward gears, no reverse gears, none of that. So it needed a clutch, that's what it was. So when I pulled the clutch off, I discovered that they had blown all of the material off the clutch on one side of the clutch. I got a picture of it. I'm gonna put it there. So, got that replaced. While I was in there, I went ahead and replaced the clutch slave cylinder and all that stuff like you need to do on these. If you're doing one of these, just do it. If there's a bearing on it, it's internal. It's not hard to do. It's not all that much more expensive. Add it to it, because the last thing you want to do is put a brand new clutch in there, reuse the old one, and have it leak and spray fluid all over everything. So we went from doing that, and then as soon as I got that fixed, I realized I had no brakes. So it turned out they had pulled all of the drum brake stuff except for the wheel cylinder off of the driver's side rear brake, which when you push the brake, it allowed it to push the plunger out of the wheel cylinder, which was leaking brake fluid everywhere. I tried fixing it. It leaks no matter what I do, so I just capped it. I'm running on 3 brakes right now. That came in the mail the other day from Rock Auto, and I will be putting that on. My next video is going to be a tune-up video and kind of getting this roadworthy. I had an incident with my other car where I needed the truck quicker than I thought I would, so I had to make it roadworthy-ish quickly. So I did some things I don't recommend doing. Especially if you buy a truck like I did for $800, you really should go over the truck a lot better. Prime example of this is it left me stranded 2 days after I got it running, enough that I felt I could drive it when the timing belt broke. Now, in some vehicles, a timing chain or timing belt breaking is just like this one, where it was $5 for the belt, and it took me a little bit to get on, mostly because I was waiting for a specialty tool. I really could have had it done in a day if I'd have just had the right tools. I did not have the tools, and I wasn't trying to make something work and break something else that would be harder to get. However, in other vehicles, they are an interference type motor, which means that the valve will hit the piston if you break a timing belt, more than likely. If you do that, you bend the valves. Bending the valves means you need a new head. So, and a new engine. So, stay up on your timing belt changes if you have a belt. Chains are a little less likely to break. Still keep an eye on them. But this belt was so far gone I could tear it by hand. You should not be able to do that. I have no clue how it lasted 1 day of driving. But it did. So, like I said, this video is going to be me doing a walk around. I'm going to post pictures of it. You're going to see the damage that was done to the truck before, the paint that needs to be done. I'm going to get pictures inside of the headliner, kind of what's left of it. I'm going to edit all those in. You'll see them as I'm talking. Parts that have showed up are suspension because it is shot. That's why it's wonky to drive. It feels really weird to drive. It's floaty. It wiggles. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I just scared the person that was coming up beside me. It's a weird feeling vehicle to drive. So struts should help a lot with that. Once we get that fixed, I'm going to do the struts the same time as I drop the truck. Before I do that, we're going to do the intake, the head. The next video is going to be like your basic tune-up video. I'm going to do an oil change on it. I'm going to show you a little trick for cleaning out your getting a really good oil change, trying to loosen up that old crud and clean it out in case you buy a vehicle. It's got maybe a little tick and you want to try to get rid of it. I got a trick for that. We're going to try it, see if it helps. I do have a cold air intake. I got long tube exhaust, or I got a long tube header. I got to build the rest of the exhaust. So I'll show you that. Then I'm going to show you how we're going to do a swap of the differential, because we're going to go from an open to a limited slip diff. And then we're going to drop it down. Get this truck down low. Same time I get it low, it'll be time for that hydro handbrake so we can have some fun with the turns. I'm just going to get rid of the rest of the stuff off the parking brake. I may even try to pull the parking brake cover. I'm not even going to bother hooking it back up. It's hanging down, the cable broke. It's not worth fixing. I'm just going to pull it out. That's another reason why I'm doing a hydro handbrake, is it'll be easy. I can lock the back tires, and then I can set that up, and then it has a little way to lock it. So that's what I'm going to do. One thing about these videos, like I said, I'm going to do them off my cell phone. You guys really are, believe it or not, hanging from my rearview mirror by rubber bands with the cell phone facing me. I can see myself, but I got it turned around. The phone I'm using, in case you're wondering, is an Android Galaxy 8 Active. I like the Active series of phones. They've been relatively tough, and I like the waterproof of it. But as I go, we're going to do one step at a time here. So some of the damage you will notice is the back of the truck has been backed into something. Really, it would be much easier for me just to find another bed and fix the bed. Just unbolt the bed, put another bed in. What I want to do is I'm going to try to pull the dents. I'm going to try to get this bed leveled back out and straight. More to see if I can, and just to show y'all how I would go around doing that. But if it doesn't work, I can get a bed for a couple $100, unbolt it, and bolt it back on. When I have it off, I can replace some stuff underneath there that probably needs to be replaced anyway. You know, but I got new tail lights for it, so I want to try to get those set up and get it pulled out enough so that it at least seals and looks halfway decent. I don't know what I'm going to do with the bumper. A chrome bumper is actually kind of expensive. The black one is kind of cheap. To be honest, I kind of like the chrome look on the bumper. It just looks more classic to me. But for $70 versus $300 or $200, if I have to, we'll go black. But I will be keeping a bumper. I'm not going to a roll plan. The point of this is when it's done, yes, it'll be a performance truck. It'll be a little sports truck. I'm not doing a V8. I'm going to keep a little 4-cylinder. Whatever power level that ends up being, it's just whatever power level it ends up being at. A lot of people put way too much emphasis on dyno numbers. I don't need a big, powerful vehicle. Not out of this. I want something that's going to be reliable, good mid-range torque, and decent horsepower. If I get 150 horsepower out of this whole thing, hey, great. If I make 200 horsepower, great. I'm not hunting horsepower numbers. I'm hunting the performance. This is supposed to be just a fun build. Now, if you want horsepower numbers, I do have a build that is coming. More on that later, but it's going to be more of your high horsepower build, and horsepower build. You know, it's going to be more. It's going to be more directed towards drag racing. It's got 456 rear gears. It's a full-size truck. I call that one Pestilence, and I'll do a video on that later. Right now, we're going to focus on this truck. So the next video is just going to be a tune-up video. I was hoping to get it done this weekend. I had a friend that hit a deer, a really good friend of mine hit a deer doing about 55 miles an hour. We're going to try to get her little focus back together. I'm planning on shooting a video for that if she will let me. You will have a junkyard video coming because we're going to the junkyard Saturday, which is tomorrow. And then my goal is to drop videos on Sunday, even if they're just little videos like this of me talking. Just try to get some semblance of we're going. Please keep in mind, this is not my full-time job. I do work, and I work kind of weird hours. I usually work from 10 to 7 or 8 at night. And then there are sometimes, a couple days ago, I worked from 10 to 4 a.m. So that's 10 a.m. to 4 a.m., not 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. So it's just a little, I just have a weird job. So I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I got enough walk around, and God bless.